The wind whispered cold secrets through the crystalline ice forests as the remaining members of the expedition prepared to leave the enigmatic planet of Ilum behind. Each step they took was weighted not only by the biting chill that gnawed at their bodies, but also by the invisible burden of the truths they had uncovered and the sacrifices they had endured. The sun, a pale orb hanging low on the horizon, fragmented its light through the towering ice formations, casting prismatic patterns that danced like ghosts around them. Dr. Alara Voss led the procession with a quiet determination that belied the exhaustion etched deep into her weather-beaten face. Her sharp eyes scanned the path ahead, every crunch of snow underfoot echoing the relentless passage of time. Though her body ached and her spirit was heavy, Alara's mind was a tempest of memories, the lost transmissions that had first beckoned them here, the crystalline ruins that defied every known timeline of civilization, and the enigmatic Ilum enigma that had tested their very will to survive. Behind her, Captain Rion Kessler moved with the practiced vigilance of a soldier accustomed to hostile environments. His broad shoulders bore more than the physical weight of his gear. The scars on his left cheek served as reminders of past failures, haunting him with every gust of icy wind. Yet beneath his stoic exterior, a fragile thread of hope had begun to weave itself into his resolve. The mission was no longer just about survival. It was about bearing witness to something far greater than any of them had anticipated. Mira Thalon trudged beside him, her bright eyes reflecting the shifting light like the alien technology she so desperately sought to understand. Her hands, often smudged with grease and dirt, now trembled ever so slightly, not from the cold, but from the enormity of the knowledge she carried. The weight of the alien device she clutched was both tangible and symbolic, a key to deciphering the legacy of Ilum, and perhaps a burden she was not yet ready to shoulder. Dr. Jonas Reeve, tall and thin with his ever-present glasses fogged from the biting cold, brought up the rear alongside Lena Ortiz, whose warm smile and quick wit had been a balm to the team's fraying nerves. Together, they formed a fragile constellation of hope amidst the frozen expanse, each member silently grappling with the changes wrought by their ordeal. As they navigated the treacherous maze of ice and snow, the team's thoughts were drawn back to the moments that had defined their mission. The discovery of the ruins beneath the ice, crystalline pillars etched with alien inscriptions that challenged humanity's understanding of history. The relentless defenses of the Ilum enigma manifesting as shifting formations and cryptic traps, testing not only their physical endurance but their very sanity. The storm that had nearly claimed their lives was a vivid memory. The howling winds and blinding snow, a crucible that had forged their unity even as it threatened to shatter it. The betrayals and conflicts that had surfaced in the face of desperation were scars etched into their shared history, reminders of the price paid for knowledge. Yet, despite everything they had endured, Alara paused at a frozen clearing where the faint outlines of ancient structures shimmered beneath the ice. Her breath crystallized in the frigid air as she allowed herself a moment to reflect. The bitter smile that touched her lips was tinged with sorrow and pride. Sorrow for those lost and pride in what they had uncovered. The secrets of Ilum were no longer buried. They were now part of humanity's tapestry, altering the very fabric of what was known. Captain Kessler's eyes remained fixed on the horizon, scanning for threats yet unseen. Inside, he wrestled with the ghosts of his past failures, the weight of leadership pressing down with relentless intensity. But in this moment, surrounded by the fragile beauty of the ice forests and the steadfast determination of his comrades, he found a measure of peace. They had fought not just against the elements or an ancient enigma, but against their own doubts and fears. Myra's fingers traced the contours of the alien device, its intricate design humming softly against her palm. The knowledge it held was a double-edged sword, a bridge to understanding, and a reminder of the unknown dangers still lurking beyond their grasp. She glanced at Ilara, silently vowing to harness this power responsibly, to protect the fragile thread of hope they had spun. The forest around them seemed alive with memories, the distant crackle of ice shifting, the faint glow of bioluminescent flora hidden beneath the snow, the eerie patterns of light that had once been manifestations of the Ilum enigma. Each step homeward was a step away from the mysteries that had both fascinated and threatened them. Yet, as the expedition moved deeper into the labyrinth of ice, the silence was punctuated by unspoken questions. How would they convey the enormity of their discoveries to those waiting beyond the stars? Could humanity bear the weight of such knowledge without succumbing to the same hubris that had doomed the ancient civilization of Ilum? And within their own hearts, how would they reconcile the cost of survival with the price of truth? The journey was far from over. As the ice forests receded behind them, the team carried with them not only artifacts and data, but a profound transformation. The frozen planet had tested their limits and reshaped their souls, forging bonds that would endure long after the cold had thawed. In the fading light, Ilara took a final look back, the shimmering ruins a testament to a civilization lost yet never forgotten. A whisper of wind stirred the crystalline branches, as if the planet itself bade them farewell, or perhaps a warning. With steely resolve, the survivors pressed onward, the path home illuminated by the fragile light of hope and the indomitable spirit of those who dare to venture into the unknown. The sun had dipped below the jagged horizon of Ilum, casting the frozen crystalline forests into a twilight shimmer that seemed almost otherworldly. Atop a narrow ridge, the expedition team gathered, their breath pluming in the frigid air, eyes drawn to the vast panorama spread before them. The ice forests stretched endlessly, their spires and branches catching the fading light and fracturing it into a kaleidoscope of colors. Above, the sky pulsed with a spectral aurora, ribbons of pale green and violet undulating slowly, painting a ghostly curtain across the cold heavens. Dr. Ilara Voss stood slightly apart from the others, her gaze distant yet focused. She knelt beside a cluster of ice formations, fingertips brushing the crystal clear surface that glowed faintly with an inner light. Beneath the frost, intricate alien inscriptions shimmered faintly, their meaning tantalizing yet elusive. The symbols whispered of a civilization far older than any recorded, their legacy encoded in the very ice that now imprisoned them. Ilara's journal lay open nearby, pages filling rapidly with sketches and notes, her mind alive with questions even as the cold bit at her skin. Captain Rion Kessler surveyed the horizon with a protective vigilance born of years spent navigating hostile environments. The scars etched across his face told stories of battles fought and lost. Yet here, amidst the quiet beauty of Ilum, his usual stoicism softened. He exchanged a rare, brief smile with Mira Thalen, who was busy adjusting her tools, yet paused to savor the moment. Their shared endurance, forged through trials of ice and fire, had woven a fragile trust between them. The weight of their discoveries pressed heavily on all, yet hope lingered like the faint warmth of a distant star. Lena Ortiz adjusted the communicator, her fingers steady despite the tension that hummed beneath the surface. Her voice broke the stillness with a final, carefully crafted transmission. This is the lost expedition of Ilum, signing off. We carry knowledge, scars, and stories that may one day guide those who follow. Until then, we leave Ilum in its frozen silence, a testament to mysteries yet unsolved. Static crackled briefly before the signal faded into the abyss of space. Around them, the team shared silent glances, each grappling inwardly with the enormity of their journey's end. Dr. Jonas Reeve moved among them, checking supplies and health monitors, his calm presence a steadying force. Despite the hardships endured, starvation, betrayal, and the relentless assault of the planetary defenses, the survivors stood united in their resolve to honor the sacrifices made. As night deepened, the aurora intensified, bathing the ice forests in a surreal glow. The crystalline structures seemed to pulse in response, as if Ilum itself acknowledged their departure. Ilara felt a shiver that was not entirely from the colder sense that the planet's ancient guardians watched silently, their secrets preserved for a future yet to come. "We've only scratched the surface," Ilara murmured, her voice barely audible over the whispering wind. "Ilum holds more than ruins. It holds warnings, lessons, and perhaps a destiny intertwined with our own." Captain Kessler nodded grimly. "We leave knowing we're part of something bigger. What we uncovered here will change how humanity sees itself and the universe." Myra's eyes sparkled with a mix of exhaustion and excitement. "And when we return, we'll be ready to unlock what we couldn't this time." The team began their descent from the ridge, their silhouettes swallowed gradually by the crystalline shadows. Behind them, the ancient planet held its secrets close, the last light of Ilum flickering like a dying star, promising that its mysteries would endure waiting. Always waiting for the next explorers brave enough to face the extremes of survival and the unknown. As the shuttle's engines roared to life and lifted them away, Ilara cast one final glance back. The frozen frontier receded beneath them, a silent sentinel of history and hope. The lost expedition of Ilum was over, but the tale of discovery, sacrifice, and wonder was only just beginning. And somewhere deep beneath the ice, the enigmatic forces of Ilum stirred once more, watchful, patient, eternal. The base camp was unusually quiet, save for the low hum of the communication console and the occasional crackle of static that punctuated the frigid air. Lena Ortiz crouched before the terminal, her fingers deftly manipulating the controls as she fought against the relentless interference that had plagued their transmissions for weeks. The cold of Ilum seemed to seep even through the thick walls of their shelter, but it was the silence from Earth that had weighed heaviest on the team. For months, the team had been isolated, trapped in a frozen wilderness that tested every ounce of their endurance. Now, as Lena adjusted the frequency one last time, a faint signal emerged from the void, a fragile whisper of a voice that sent a jolt of electricity through the cramped room. "This is Mission Control. Ilum Expedition, do you copy?" "Over." Lena's breath caught as she stared at the flickering screen. She glanced over her shoulder at the assembled team, their tired faces illuminated by the pale glow of the monitors. Dr. Ilara Voss stepped forward, her sharp eyes reflecting a mixture of disbelief and cautious hope. "We read you, Mission Control," Lena responded, her voice steady despite the tumult of emotions swirling inside her. "This is Ilum Team. We copy loud and clear." A ripple of relief swept through the camp. Captain Rion Kessler exhaled slowly, the tension that had coiled in his broad shoulders loosening for the first time in weeks. Even Mira Thalen, whose youthful energy had been dimmed by the relentless strain of their mission, allowed herself a small smile. The transmission brought more than just a voice from home. It was a lifeline. Messages flew back and forth, updates exchanged, and plans laid for the next phase of their journey. Yet, with this connection came the weight of responsibility. The The data they had gathered on Ilum's ancient civilization was unlike anything humanity had encountered. Before a repository of knowledge that could redefine history and technology, but also one fraught with ethical dilemmas and potential dangers. Dr. Voss gathered the team in the main hall, her gaze steady as she addressed the group. We've crossed a threshold today, not just in re-establishing contact, but in what this means for us and for everyone waiting back on Earth. Our discoveries on Ilum carry profound implications. We must decide carefully how much to reveal, how to protect this knowledge, and how to ensure that we don't repeat the mistakes of the past. Captain Kessler nodded in agreement. Our priority remains the team's safety and the integrity of our mission. We face new challenges now, not only from the planet, but from the expectations that come with this breakthrough. Meanwhile, Lena returned to the console, her fingers flying over the controls as she coordinated the uplink of critical findings. The flickering lights of the communication array cast long shadows across the ice-crusted walls, a reminder of the fragile connection between worlds. Outside, the frozen landscape stretched endlessly, crystalline forests shimmering under Ilum's pale sun. The planet that had been their prison was now a gateway, one that linked the past to the future, isolation to connection, and despair to hope. As the team prepared for the transmissions that would carry their story to Earth, the weight of their journey settled over them like the cold night. They had survived the extremes of Ilum, uncovered secrets lost to time, and now faced the ultimate test. How to carry those secrets forward without losing themselves or the fragile unity that had brought them this far. The link to Earth remained steady, but questions lingered in the silence between messages. How much could they reveal without endangering their world? What price would be paid for the knowledge they had unearthed? And as the shadows of the Ilum enigma still danced unseen beneath the ice, would humanity be ready for the truths waiting in the frozen depths? In the quiet hum of the communication room, hope and tension intertwined, marking the beginning of a new chapter, just for the lost expedition, but for all who dared to reach beyond the stars. As Lena prepared to send the next transmission, a sudden flicker on the monitor caught her Arja pattern of light, faint but unmistakable, pulsing through the interference. It was a signal unlike any they had encountered before, a final echo from Ilum itself. The team exchanged wary glances, the unspoken question hanging heavy in the air. Was this truly the end of their journey, or just the beginning of a deeper mystery? And with that, the story of the lost expedition continued, bound by the fragile thread of a return transmission and the unyielding spirit of those who dared to listen. The command module was quiet except for the low hum of the life support systems and the steady blinking of monitors. Dr. Elara Voss stood before the central console, her eyes scanning the data cascading down the holographic displays like falling stars caught in icy currents. The ancient civilization's secrets lay encoded within the intricate patterns she had just decrypted, revealing technologies far beyond current human understanding unity manipulations, environmental controls, even hints at biological interfaces that blurred the lines between machine and organism. A weight pressed on her chest, heavier than the frigid atmosphere outside. How much of this knowledge should be shared? Could humanity handle it? The thought twisted inside her like the jagged ice formations that surrounded their encampment. She had come here driven by curiosity, by the relentless urge to uncover and understand. Yet now, faced with the raw power of what they had found, she hesitated. The footsteps behind her were soft but resolute. Captain Rion Kessler entered the room, his scarred visage shadowed beneath the dim glow. "Elara," he said quietly, "we need to talk about what comes next." She nodded, without turning. I've been running simulations on the energy matrices we've uncovered. If this technology falls into the wrong hands, it could be catastrophic. Weapons, environmental manipulation, the potential for misuse is enormous. Kessler's jaw tightened. Exactly why we need to be cautious. We can't just broadcast everything back to Earth. Some things should stay buried. The metallic clang of tools coming to rest announced Myra Thalon's arrival. Her bright eyes shone with the persistent spark of youthful enthusiasm, though even she seemed tempered by the gravity of the situation. With all due respect, Captain, withholding this technology could stunt progress. Think of the medical breakthroughs, the energy solutions. We have a chance to change everything. Alara sighed, turning to face her engineer. I don't disagree, but progress without control can be reckless. We don't know the full extent of what we're dealing with, or the consequences of awakening these systems. Lena Ortiz appeared next, clutching a portable communications device. Her usually warm smile was replaced with a furrowed brow. I've intercepted transmissions from an unknown source, possibly monitoring us. Whoever is out there is interested and, not necessarily with good intentions. The room grew colder, the shadows lengthening as the implications settled. Dr. Jonas Reeve adjusted his glasses and spoke with measured calm. We must consider the ethical ramifications. Our responsibility isn't just to science, but to humanity as a whole. Perhaps a controlled release of information with strict safeguards. The debate stretched into hours, each argument weaving through hopes, fears, and the haunting echoes of past mistakes. Alara found herself retreating to the crystalline ice near the habitat, seeking solace in its ethereal glow. Jonas joined her, the pulsing light casting delicate patterns across their faces. How do you carry this burden? Jonas asked softly. The weight of knowledge and the fear of what might come. By reminding myself why we came here, Ilara replied. To learn, to understand, but also to protect. Discovery isn't just about revelation, it's about responsibility. As dawn crept over the frozen horizon, the team reached a tentative consensus. To transmit a carefully curated selection of data highlighting their findings without revealing the most dangerous technologies. Yet the intercepted signals hinted that their efforts to contain the knowledge might be futile. Ilara stared out at the vast, icy expanse of Ilum, the planet's ancient secrets shimmering beneath the surface. The expedition's journey was far from over, and the true cost of discovery still awaited them. The weight of knowledge pressed heavily, but so did the promise of what lay ahead. We can't afford mistakes, Kessler said later, his voice steady but laced with unease. Not when lives are at stake. Agreed, Ilara answered, but silence could be just as dangerous. Myra shook her head, frustration flashing in her eyes. If we don't share everything, someone else will, and they might not be as careful. The tension among them was palpable, a fragile thread stretched taut across the chill air. Then we move forward with caution, Ilara declared. Guard our discoveries as fiercely as we guard our lives. Outside, the crystalline ice forests whispered tales of eons past, their secrets waiting to be told or forever concealed. As the team prepared their transmissions, Ilara felt the weight of her choices settle like frost on her skin. The path ahead was uncertain, the line between salvation and destruction thinner than the ice beneath their feet. And somewhere out there, the shadows of Ilum watched and waited. The hum of the recovery ship's engines filled the air as the survivors gathered in the main observation deck, their eyes fixed on the vast, frozen expanse of Ilum fading behind the thick glass. Dr. Ilara Voss stood apart, her posture rigid but her gaze distant, tracing the crystalline ice forests that had been both their battleground and their classroom. The pale sun cast a cold glow over the landscape, illuminating the delicate shimmer of frost that had become an indelible part of her memory. Around her, the others settled into quiet conversations, voices low but imbued with a tentative warmth. Captain Ryan Kessler leaned against the bulkhead, the scar on his cheek catching the light as he listened intently to Lena Ortiz recounting a light-hearted moment from their last days on Ilum. Despite the levity, a shadow of introspection lingered behind his vigilant eyes, the weight of past missions and recent trials pressing heavily upon him. Mira Thallen was nearby, seated at a small workbench they had set up for post-mission analysis. Her fingers moved deftly over a piece of alien technology, fragment of the civilization's enigmatic machinery that had survived the collapse of the ruins. The symbols etched into its surface glowed faintly under her touch, a silent testament to the mysteries they had barely begun to unravel. Yet beneath her scientific curiosity, a flicker of doubt shadowed her expression. The power and danger of what they had found were not lost on her, and the line between discovery and destruction blurred with every new revelation. Dr. Jonas Reeve moved through the group, offering quiet words of reassurance and monitoring signs of physical and psychological strain among the team. His calm presence was a balm against the undercurrent of anxiety that still rippled beneath their interactions. He caught Ilara's eye and offered a small, understanding nod, an unspoken acknowledgement of the burdens they all carried. The survivors found themselves at a crossroads. The mission, once a clear quest to trace a lost transmission and uncover ancient secrets, had become a crucible that reshaped their identities and futures. Each member wrestled with questions of purpose and belonging. For Ilara, the loss of her mentor and the sacrifices made weighed heavily, but so did the exhilaration of breaking new ground. She knew that the knowledge gleaned from Ilum had the potential to redefine humanity's place in the cosmos, but at what cost? Captain Kessler's stoicism cracked in moments of solitude, revealing a man haunted by past failures yet determined to protect those who survived. The mission had tested his leadership, forcing him to confront vulnerabilities he had long buried. Now, as they journeyed home, he grappled with the possibility of redemption and the challenge of rebuilding trust within himself and the team. Myra's youthful exuberance had been tempered by harsh lessons, her impulsiveness replaced by a cautious resolve. The alien technology she had touched was both a beacon of hope and a source of peril. She faced a personal reckoning, whether to pursue the scientific breakthroughs that beckoned or to heed the warnings etched into the ruins. Lena Ortiz's optimism remained a steady light amid uncertainty. Her skill in communications had been vital, and her efforts to reconnect with Earth promised a lifeline beyond the isolation of Ilum. Yet even she felt the weight of the unknown, aware that the world, awaiting their return, might not be prepared for the truths they carried. As the ship's course set toward home, the team convened one final time in the common area, a circle of faces marked by fatigue and resolve. They shared hopes and fears, tentative plans and silent promises. The bonds forged in the crucible of survival were fragile yet unbreakable, a testament to human endurance and the enduring power of hope. Ilara closed her journal, the pages filled with painstaking notes and personal reflections. "We've seen what lies beyond the edge of our understanding," she said quietly, "and now we must decide how to carry that knowledge forward." The others nodded, each lost in their own thoughts but united by a shared purpose. The path ahead was uncertain, fraught with political, ethical, and personal challenges. Yet in that moment, surrounded by the echoes of their journey and the quiet hum of the ship, they found a measure of peace. Outside Ilum's icy horizon shimmered one last time before fading into the vastness of space, a silent witness to the expedition's end and the new beginnings it inspired. But as the stars beckoned, the question lingered in the cool air. What price would they pay for the future they sought to build from the ruins of the past? The answers awaited them beyond the void, in a world forever changed by the lost expedition of Ilum.